And suddenly there was a great earthquake. For an angel of the Lord, descending from heaven, came and rolled back the stone and sat on it. Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him away. Mary. Are you the only stranger in Jerusalem who does not know the things that have taken place there in these days? Then their eyes were opened. Were not our hearts burning within us? Peace be with you. Why are you frightened? And why do doubts arise in your hearts? Open up your Sunday eyes. Look with wonder and surprise. You'll see the truth, you'll see the lies. Sunday's coming. A day like no other in history was to bring glimpses of God's glory to a handful of people. These suddenly moments came in various guises, both alone and together. Unique experiences that gave moments of revelation. The power of an earthquake, an angel with the appearance of lightning, the soft murmur of a woman's name, friends discussing events as they walked who had time to welcome a stranger, and a confrontation with what they thought was a ghost for a terrified bunch of men who had locked themselves in an upper room. These divine encounters brought hope where there was no hope. It sustained them in a time of persecution and fear, provided bread for their journey and those around them, and gave them personal stories that would be retold countless times for centuries to come, transforming millions of lives. 2,000 years later, where are the glimpses of God's glory today? How then shall we live? How do we open up our Sunday eyes? Busyness is a modern-day characteristic that can sometimes prevent our engagement with a relational God. When I lived in London, I was often rushing from one thing to the next, and on this particular morning I was late for a very important date. Canals crisscross parts of East London, and I would often find solace in one particular stretch of water. As I sped past the turning, something stirred inside me, enough that I turned the car around, went back and parked. With thoughts of what am I doing, and I'm going to be even later, I started walking along the riverbank. But as I lifted my head and closed my eyes, a gentle breeze caressed my face. In that moment, time stopped, and the words, "I just wanted to be with you," floated around my senses. As a robin sang his lilting song, I breathed deeply and allowed the worries of the day to slowly dissipate. 10 minutes later, I resumed my journey, this time with a deep peace. We have many dear friends in the Czech Republic, and I was invited to perform a drum concert in a refugee camp. This large camp had many asylum seekers from a variety of different cultures and backgrounds, but sadly, through the long process of governmental bureaucracy, it had left the people incarcerated with very little hope. They had lost their individuality and uniqueness and become a number in the system. There was a sense of hopelessness as Rebecca and I walked around meeting people and inviting them to our event. And to be quite honest, I felt very awkward as I started to play. Everyone had turned up, but there was a heavy, depressed atmosphere in the place. As I began to play, I left my song list and found myself playing a very specific African rhythm. Immediately, a lady sitting next to Rebecca jumped up and started dancing. Suddenly aware of her surroundings, she quickly sat back down, very embarrassed. Rebecca then asked her if she knew this rhythm, only to find out this was one of the exact rhythms from her tribe. The beat had stirred her spirit, reminding her of who she was, her roots, her land, and her heritage. Rebecca then asked, "Please show me your dance. Teach me." And with a little persuasion, they were soon dancing together and encouraging others. The atmosphere in the place changed instantly, as people saw this Ghanaian lady reconnect with her identity. Others now came to me. "Do you know my rhythm? Can I sing my song?" The dancing and singing brought life to the place, and slowly, one by one, others emerged from the shadows to share songs, dances, verse, and music. God had unlocked a place of despair through a suddenly moment, a rhythm, and we all got a beautiful glimpse of the amazing stories, songs, and colours of the peoples represented from around the world. A sound of hope had encouraged those who had lost their voice, and we later heard that that day became a talking point for many days and months in the future. A Saturday evening meeting on a mountain in Cyprus with gateways beyond taught me how creation itself has much to teach us. During the musical worship, there was a sudden lovely pause and silence descended into our gathering. I was sitting at the drum kit at the back of the room, and behind me were two very large open windows which looked out over an incredible reservoir. As I listened in the silence, all I could hear was the frogs singing from their watery home, and I shouted out, "Listen to the frogs!" I think everyone thought that Martin had lost the plot. But as I listened, I started to hear a rhythm in the frog's song, and I started to join in with my own rhythm. And as people realised what was happening, they also joined in. And for the next half an hour, we all worshipped with creation. This day is a new day that has never been before. The earth glories in her maker. Now mountain and valley glow in splendour. The sea on the shore whispers the praises of Jesus. Rivers stream through thirsty soil, bringing news of gladness. The Redeemer is risen. His glory fills the earth. The trees thunder their praises and loudly clap their hands. Sound the trumpet through all the earth. Our morning star is alive, risen in splendour. He is among us, and we, his people, will join in the dance of all creation. This Easter Sunday, I pray a blessing upon you all, that you may notice and engage with God's suddenly moments in your everyday life. May your eyes be opened, may your hearts burn, and may you hear your name being called, because Sunday is here.